Well, hello there. I hope you're well. Honey, I Shrunk myself, and he even has his own copy of Meet a Strawman. This is chapter 14. Hope you're ready for a ride. We're going to keep touching on society and then move into those men who wear camouflage army pants, the armed services. Let's do this, shall we? In order to survive asphyxiation and not have myself pass out, I'm going to switch to the hat. Let's go. Now, while a countrywide medical service sounds like a good thing, it has been reported that the price of some of the medicines supplied to the National Health Service now cost literally 10 times what they did 2 years ago. This looks very much as if the people in control of that service are using it to make massive profits on pharmaceuticals. That just couldn't be. No way. And probably many other services such as parking fees, where millions per year are made from the people who have no option but to park in the hospital grounds. Sorry, little Timmy, I didn't mean to break your arm, but we can't go to the hospital. I don't want a parking fine. So what looks like a sensible arrangement appears to have been converted to something different, something more sinister. Perhaps this is an unduly cynical view, but it is certainly in line with many of the other motherfucking scams which are being run. Income tax was introduced as a temporary measure in connection with a war, and who organises the wars? It has never been removed, and yet the country did not seem to have any major problems whatsoever when there was no income tax. The employees of the commercial company which runs the country, those people who take the title of Member of Congress, or some similar meaningless title, spend a lot of time thinking up new legislation. How can we shaft these humans some more? Which, if it can be introduced without too many people noticing it, you guessed it, it will become a statute. I suggest that the main intention of all legislation is to provide a smokescreen to hide additional charges which members of the public are required to pay. Hear ye. An argument can be that you elected those politicians, so you must abide by whatever they dictate. This carefully avoids mentioning the fact that those politicians have nothing to do with the public, other than giving the appearance that the public has some say in what happens, while the reality is that everything that happens is dictated by the non-elected owners of the companies in charge. Now, the payment of benefits to those in need looks like a very good and necessary thing, but the people in charge see it as an admission that the adult is not capable of taking care of himself, and so they literally think of these ordinary people as cattle. Round 'em up, lassie. Their word, not mine. What they ignore is the fact that there are many direct and indirect taxes and charges, along with the low level of pay which they reckon the people can be made to work for, are the things which have many ordinary, hard-working people in the very poor financial positions which they despise. They are willing to cheat, steal, and lie, while the ordinary person is just not comfortable doing those things. So what should be a good and helpful system has been changed into an oppressive thing which is used to force people into dependency. While a certain level of public contribution for what is thought of as being essential services, it's understandable and a desirable thing that the system has been twisted into a mechanism to enslave and defraud ordinary people. It has long since reached a ridiculous level, with the average person being expected to pay income tax, council tax, inheritance tax, national insurance, capital gains tax, sales tax on house purchases, human, value-added tax, parking charges, airport charges, fuel tax, road tax, import duty, tax on alcohol, tax on tobacco, payments for a driver's license, and heck, let's charge them for a passport as well. And the list, it just goes on and on and on. And don't forget, there are additional items added all the motherfucking time. You wake up tomorrow and there'll be 10 more. People who have been caught for many years in this system will have already paid in so much that they will not want to leave the system. And they don't want to lose the benefits for which they have been paying so long. They want to stay in the illusion. Just leave me here. Go on without me. Others may well consider starting to refuse to pay some of the things demanded of the Strawman. This is a personal choice and one which should be thought about carefully before any action is taken. Let's talk about them men in cargo pants, the ones that carry machine guns, the armed services. The commercial company, which has chosen the name, the United States Incorporated, has a large number of people employed in what it calls the armed services, or the army, and most countries have a similar arrangement, i.e. Australia. If you were asked, what is the purpose of these armed and trained people? How would you reply? It may surprise you to know that the people who employ them hire them to protect themselves, the employers, from their enemies. Not too startling an idea, you say? Well, yeah, as you say, it's not too startling a revelation. But what may surprise you to discover is that the enemy is quite openly stated to be, drumroll please, you. So not only do they describe you as a monster, but also as their enemy. Because they are so heavily outnumbered, they are actually petrified and frightened of you and feel that they need armed bodyguards and heavy locked doors like a glass case that the Pope arrives in to keep them safe from the anger of ordinary people. If they ever find out how they are being manipulated and robbed, that is, in passing, they consider anybody who asks permission to do something which they are already entitled to do under common law to be a child of the states, and so of no consequence. Let's check out a possible scenario. You take some young people down to your local Macca's, and you order several meals. Give me a triple cheeseburger. When the food has been prepared, the manager says, I'll make you a deal. You and your friends can have these meals for free if you take this loaded revolver and go over to that corner table and shoot that man straight in the head. I mean, if it was only that cheap. I'll hire a hitman for 3 cheeseburgers. There will be no comeback, as I am authorizing you to do it. Having blinked a few times, you ask why you should shoot him dead when he has never done anything to you. The manager then says, ha, he has never done anything to me either. But he has a lot of money in his wallet and I want to steal it. So just go and shoot him dead. It's okay, because I am telling you to do it for me. Sound a bit mad, doesn't it? Well, it should do, as murder is a criminal offence under common law, and somebody telling you to do it, and that it is okay because they say so, is fucking ridiculous. Nobody has the authority to tell you to murder somebody. Remember, all of us were born with exactly the same privileges and rights, and nobody has authority over anyone else, and most definitely not to be able to authorize murder. And there we have it. This is part 14, Meet the Strawman. Hope you enjoyed that goodness. This is the road to freedom. Much love. See you tomorrow.